Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for the Southeast Asian Qualifiers. We're going to be in the Boston Major. It's RRQ facing off against Fire Dragoon Esports. I'm Lyrical, and I'm going to be joined by somebody who doesn't always hop in the casting seat, but Nahaz, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. First cast together. This is going to be a lot of fun. The night feels so young, and yet we're already, I think, into our fourth set of games. It's crazy. And boy, Fire Dragoon Esports in the last set of matches, I thought that the draft was extremely lopsided against sig.trust, and they made a game out of that. It's just Zhang played brilliantly for a lot of the match on Storm Spirit, but it felt like that one big death mid just sort of killed all the momentum that they had.
No, totally, and it came down to like just one crush that really set them far back. We were talking about it a little bit, and I think that Andy was right. He was saying that it felt very strange at first taking that Ricky that fit with the same type of thing that the Knicks was doing, but then afterwards it all kind of came together with that last pick, Storm Spirit, and they handled it well. But now taking a little bit of a different route. They do ban out again the Drow Ranger and also the Nyx Assassin. That was from one of their earlier sets, I believe, that they took this same set of bans. But they take the Timber Saw for themselves, leaving RRQ to take the Sand King, Shadow Demon combination, and then an Ogre. A little bit of a different look always when we take a look at C teams. It feels like has its own meta that's kind of away from the rest of the regions. Is there anything that's really sticking out to you here that you like or dislike about the draft?
I think this is probably one of the more conventional drafts that we've seen tonight out of these C teams. This is a draft that you might see in a lot of other regions. Again, it's part of the themes that we've been talking about all night long is the recent set of nerfs don't look like they've been incorporated that much in the meta yet. You're still seeing Batrider picked and banned. You're still seeing Shadow Demon picked and banned. You know, these heroes are not. You're still seeing Drow as a first phase pick and a first phase ban. Oh, yeah. So these heroes aren't necessarily immediately going to go away from the meta. I do like this Timbersaw pickup by Fire Dragoon quite a bit. Same idea as the Storm Spirit in the last match, and you're not waiting till 5th to pick it up when you've kind of that was very much a carry me Storm Senpai draft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Rex Regum is another team that we haven't talked about much. Out of Indonesia, they're not necessarily among the favorites in this region, but they are a team. They're an organization that's been around for a while.
Oh, definitely. They've been always in the area, in the realm. I mean, I remember casting them in the open qualifiers of Manila Major, where they were trying to make their way through it. But I think it's just something where, you know, if you take MVP and Execration out of the C region, there's not a ton of other ones, specifically because Warriors Gaming Unity, they also had to go through open qualifiers since they changed up one member of their team last. But a little bit of a pop quiz trivia thing. Their name is Latin. Do you speak any Latin at all? Do you know this?
You know what? No, I actually this is my old man thing kicking in because I actually looked up what it meant last year when they were in the regional qualifiers, and of course I completely forgot.
King of Kings.
King of Kings. Okay,
that's the one. I don't know if Quion or Kwong or however you pronounce it.
I knew there was a Regum, and there's a king. Rex Regum is king in there somewhere, but yeah, I have no idea what the last word means.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to be the King of Kings this qualifiers. I'm not going to lie. It's a bit of a struggle. They have a lot of stiff competition.
I tell you what, though, one thing that I'm really liking out of a couple of these C drafts that I'm seeing so far, teams are doing their homework because Fire Dragoon was 8-0 with Invoker in the open qualifiers. I believe it was, I forget whether it was Brant or Jiang that had the Invoker games. I actually think it was Brant. But they had some really dominating Invoker performances. Again, the performances are a little bit uneven there in terms of the competition, but you're seeing their comfort heroes get banned. These teams are clearly watching each other's games. They have their analysts doing the homework. And you're seeing a little bit of a throwback look here from Rex Regum. The Shadow Demon Kunkka classic combo. I imagine that those are going to be your two supports with the Sand King probably in the offlane role.
You know what's interesting, though? I think that they took these three heroes specifically because it's even more dynamic than that. There's been some matches not in C as much that I've seen, but it's actually out of Kai P that have been playing it.
Yeah.
A Sand King Kunkka dual lane, because you always have the setup for a torrent after a burrow strike, just because of how long of a disable that is, even at level 1. 2.17 seconds.
Wow, but
always
that's also
set
a
it up.
function of the players they've got, right?
Well,
they've Sing, of course, on the Kunkka, and they're very. That team is very comfortable with those two heroes. This is going to be interesting to me, though, because OD is another hero that I mean, 6 base damage is a freaking lot, man. That hero, I thought, absolutely got pounded in the rear end with the Nerf hammer, and he's still getting picked.
We're so polite, but yeah, exactly.
Well, I feel like I got we legit now, boys. I mean, as I look up at the other screen, Blaze is wearing the Pikachu hat. But
we're casual here. We're very relaxed indeed. We're 5 minutes delayed, so if you wanted to go do that, go hop in your time machine and go check out Blaze in a Pikachu hat. I think he also has a Pokeball with him as well. But yeah, it's interesting. OD, like the hero, obviously still an incredibly strong laner. You got Astral keeping him out of the fight as a save mechanism for one of your other cores, not to mention the fact that you also have your Essence Aura that can be paired really well with Ogre Magi or a Timber Saw.
Yeah.
You have so much mana regeneration. This draft, if they start thinking about group up, it works better with this type of a lineup than it does for most.
Well, and I really do like the potential of the Astral and Prism when you've got such a stun heavy, combo heavy lineup on the other side. You can really set to disrupt that on certain heroes. I mean, that it really does look like a brutal Timbersaw game right now when you look at just the pure amount of disable coming out from the other side and the potential of that hero just to never be able to get a Timber Chain off.
No, it's true. I will say that the Juggernaut, one of the not necessarily best heroes against the Timber, and they have the option. We haven't seen it as much, but again, at C, they have the option if they wanted to try and match up the Timber against the Jug. It would be a pretty bold move to stick the OD in the safe lane, but it is always an option there. And otherwise, they could also look now to instead go for like an aggro lane with an Ogre on Fire Dragoon Esports, which we have seen them willing to switch up the lanes, and then you go for the one-on-one matchup against the Sand King, which I feel like you can outplay each other. Either side wins that, and it just comes down to who's more confident.
Yeah, the concern for me is in the last game, Fire Dragoon were able to keep themselves in the game for quite some time just due to the roaming presence of that Ricky, and the Nyx Assassin was able to get online and do some good things. He had a fairly early Blink Dagger, pretty competitive with the Slardar in terms of his item timing. But in this particular match, I think RRQ are going to have the roaming advantage.
Oh,
for
totally.
Sure. This is always my question. When you have these newer teams, the younger teams that are coming through your open qualifiers, how do you? It's when you're the younger team.
Yeah.
I always feel like you want to be the one that's on the offensive. You want to be the one playing in your comfort zone. How are you going to respond when you're the one getting challenged? When the other team's taking the fight to you?
Yeah, no, totally, and that's a really big question. I think that experience does play a large part in this because Fire Dragoon Esports, not only are they a young team full of young players, the organization formed in March, and you've got a team that's only been together for 3 weeks, and we saw that problem in the last game where, as you mentioned, it's the Storm Spirit carry me towards the end in the victory. That's one of the styles that you can play when you're a younger team, but if RRQ get inside their head, they start winning this laning stage either by virtue of Shadow Demon Disruption into the Torrent followed up by a spin mid lane, or even just a rotate. Like, they don't need to stay to a lane. They can go wherever the hell they want, and it's going to be a problem. So I want the psychology of Dota definitely can start playing a factor.
I actually don't mind their draft overall, except for the fact that I just feel like Timber's going to have a really hard time.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I don't mind their draft, but man, oh man. It's you commit to that first phase Timber, and then it's just like bang, bang, bang. Everybody that can shut down a Timber.
Well, and also Juggernaut eventually. I talked about the being able to survive against him in lane, but if he does go the Mantle Diffusal route, that can be a problem as well. Last set of bans now. The Ursa is going to be taken out as well as the Tinker, and Fire Dragoon Esports.
I like that Ursa ban a lot. I really do. I feel like he's just a hero that he can do a lot of damage with not too much farm. And you've already got 2 cores on Fire Dragoon. They're going to eat up a lot of farm. You need somebody here that can that can put up some damage without necessarily having that huge fat farming.
Well, and I think that maybe a little bit more disable or tower pushing potential wouldn't go awry. Like, I guess that's the problem, though, is if you go for some tower pushing, like OD as it stands, they might just want to snowball to a victory. But yeah, last couple seconds here for them, and
I mean, you need an active carry. I mean, they picked a lot of out.
They're
going to go Morana. Okay, this hero it's still getting picked up. Obviously, the huge Imba factor from TI6 got nerfed a little bit with the Starfall, but this is still a hero that we've seen get played. We've seen Envy run it. We've seen a number of other top teams run it. It's not bad.
So,
but what are the lanes going to look like
Yeah.
now? Is this Mirana mid?
I couldn't tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you where they're going to take it.
I feel like it. I don't know. I feel like it's almost got to be a Mirana mid now.
Well, I think they can also respond to what RRQ do here. It's very maneuverable. All of these heroes can be played in the mid, safe, and not all of them offlane. OD can't go offlane, but both Mirana and Timber could as well. And they could just dual lane it. Like, if they wanted to, that's sort of, the more classic approach. And Ogre does love dual lanes. If you run a dual lane of, like, OD Rubik or in the safe... God, I feel like OD just has to be mid, though. It seems hard.
Okay. Well, that's a kind of a scary pick.
There was a TA game that happened earlier where it was all in on her. I don't feel like this is necessarily with the Jug. Do you like the TA as the last pick? Is there anything that you'd be particularly worried about with her?
I think you don't. I mean, Ignite can certainly ruin the TA's day. But apart from Ignite, you do have Timber with the ability to get some damage instances out there. But apart from that, apart from Ignite, you don't really have necessarily anything that's going to put a lot of damage instances to strip those refraction charges out. So I think TA is actually, and that's the other thing is that with the OD nerf, now it has been Jiang that at least in the last game we saw him play Storm and go mid. So does the fact that Brant is your OD player now mean that that's going to be a safe lane OD? I kind of think so.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the potential for that, and it is Yang on the Mirana.
Yeah, I feel like at this point now, the TA pick is just it's based on the laning phase matchup, as most TA picks are going to be. And of course, as the proud SEA Dota tradition continues, we're going to have
this is everywhere.
The game.
They all do.
I guess that's true. The old stigma is it was an SEA thing, but you're right. Everybody does it now.
Look at this spooky guy, Mr. Shadow Demon. He is just craning his neck back, doing the Exorcist move. Was it spooky out there on the set, by the way?
It looks like his pinching his own nipple. Am I allowed to say that on stream? Okay.
I think you're allowed to say whatever you want.
Oh, nice. Okay.
He is so happy about it too. Just yes, baby. Oh God, what a creeper.
Okay.
So speaking of creepers, Timbersaw's hopping in the air. But yeah, how was it being out on the set there? I haven't got to go and check it out yet.
Oh, it's interesting.
Okay. Cool.
Well, the part of the problem is, of course, I just got off a plane. I just got here, and LD's like, oh, okay, go be on panel. All right, cool. What's going on again?
Yeah, exactly.
Our usual level of organization. No, it's fun. I'm just happy to be here doing Dota, man. This is like vacation for me, dude.
It's great. It's wonderful. You get to see some great Dota 2 action. RRQ going to head out and try and make some moves around the map. I haven't seen any of the inaugural smokes that I feel like we always see out of teams and, placing some early awards.
Well, you got a 5-man out of Dire here, and Kunkka's holding the smoke. Don't give up on that yet.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, I meant more like the TP to place them earlier. Shout out to Adi Kappa. What is going on?
No idea, dude. No idea.
It's Southeast Asian memes. Or potentially just, they know each other pretty well.
3154? No, that's a Chinese meme.
Yeah.
Don't mix your memes, man. That's bad.
That's
Jack gets mad at you.
It's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters.
Oh, yes. I knew I was going to like Cassie. I've seen that movie like 75 times.
It's a great one.
Oh, my God.
Ben is going to be down here in the bottom lane just scouting out any movement through his own area. And, well, that does break the smoke, so they don't find anybody. But how do you feel about these early who do you feel like is going to come away with the win here? It's a lot to lay on you right from the start, but I'm looking for initial thoughts.
I like RRQ a little better here. I think their lineup is just a little bit more robust. I think this TA is going to have a pretty good laning phase, honestly. I don't necessarily see that I don't see that the laning matchup is that favorable for an OD, and I think he needs a really favorable lane. But we'll see.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I still feel like the true effects of the recent round of nerfs haven't really trickled all the way into the meta yet. So this is one of those where I expected 6 base damage is just so massive that I expected OD to just immediately not get picked anymore.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen.
Well, and TA is a hero that's going to punish for you heavily. Like, looking at the base the damage differential here, she's at, what is that, at about like 88 at this stage in the game already? And, well, a bit of a battle looking like it could brew down bottom. They're bullying.
And that's the other thing, right? When you look at the mid positioning wars, like OD just has to like totally climb up the ramp, get in TA's face, and as she gets levels in her refraction and levels in her side blades, like she's going to be able to get in mega harass when he has to do that.
Well, top lane in a little bit of trouble. They find first blood. Yang. A large combination of disables, and they get the kill. This is a kill lane and a half.
Well, we were talking about when you're the underdog, when you're the young team, you want to be the one taking the initiative, and they go aggro try up on the top lane, and it just looks like RRQ weren't necessarily ready for it. They're going to get him again!
This is a ton of damage being dealt out. Sand King going to burrow strike.
Oh, boy, they're so lucky.
I really like that play, too. They lifted back the Sand King over the range creep so the arrow would connect. That was solid. That's good stuff. And already 7 last hit, 7 denies for the Jug. They're getting a lot down here, but it does feel like the Timbersaw is still making a life for himself. It now has to head back and away and go jungle or something. I don't know exactly what Ben's thinking.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing that it makes the failure to get the second kill on the Sand King that much bigger, because you now have a dual lane on bottom that's just getting free farm. This is like,
do you see this, by the way?
What?
Look at what the Timbersaw did. He moved up to the high ground, so he's cliff jungling Timbersaw.
God, pubs are ruined.
Cliff jungling Timbersaw. How is he's going to be safe?
My pubs are ruined. Yeah, he's going to be safe until the ship's passing in the night. Look at this.
They don't. You never expect the cliff jungling Timbersaw. That's for damn sure.
Oh my God, it's so much worse than the Spanish Inquisition.
Mid lane, they're going to try and take down the courier. They do find it. Yang on the Rubik, able to make that play, and now they have found the Timbersaw, but well, I don't know if they're going to be able to. They might actually just be able to find this kill. Torrent, another couple stacks. They already had level 2 on Shadow Demon. Ben in a lot of trouble.
Yo, OD, like, go back there. Oh my. Okay. Well. Yeah, that's what happens when you cliff jungle Timbersaw and you're level 1 at 3 minutes.
I mean, to be fair, it is a very hard lane for him down there, and I think he probably would have died. He doesn't get level 2. I don't know exactly.
No, it's
a tough.
You have to immediately, when you don't get that second kill on the Sand King, I feel like you immediately have to like switch up that aggro tri lane. I mean, they may now. I say that, and they may just get a second kill on Sand King here, but I still don't think that's enough.
No.
Your Sand King's he's still almost level 4, even though he's died twice, and your Timbersaw is level 1.
That is pretty absurd. Yeah, and Ben, I mean, they walk through.
Oh my.
Yeah, they take down the tree that he was by, and well, he is still going to be able to have an okay time once he gets his level 2 now, but it's really been rough for him so far, and
there is something hilarious about Timbersaw hiding in the trees of all heroes.
Absolutely. The Juggernaut, though, the big story for me, he has more denies than the Mirana has last hits. Yeah, this is a problem.
This is what I was concerned about too. Is you have the TA that's she's winning mid pretty handily against OD. She's going to be able to stack Ancients here for herself. You have Juggernaut off to a huge CS advantage in the bottom lane, and you're just not. You know, great. You got 2 kills on the Sand King, but is that really that significant given the advantage that you're giving up in the other 2 lanes?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I don't think it really is, particularly because Timbersaw is not necessarily a hero that like. You have to have something to catch back up, it feels like.
No, he's a hero. He's like way back when I very first started to look at item win rates by time splits. Timbersaw was like one of the first big win rates that we looked at. Like his win rate pre 17 or 18 minute Bloodstone versus post was like such a big drop off. And another kill here in the top lane. They're going to get the Sand King. Again, they're making his life miserable, but he's still getting his levels.
No, definitely. I do wonder if they can snowball enough off of it.
Oh, Timber!
Is it going to happen?
Not quite. They do force 2 TPs, and Juggernaut is probably going to die here.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Does have phase boots and drops down the healing ward as well. Lift is not off cool. He has enough mana for it, but they do get the Fire Blast, and Torrent not quite on the mark. They're still going to keep the chase going. This is maybe a bit too far afoot as the Burrow Strike turnaround onto Yang. In some trouble. They get the lift finally, but no damage coming out to kill off that Kunkka. Disruption trying to keep that Shadow Demon alive, but, excuse me, the Ogre, but he will eventually die. And just like that, a really rough set of circumstances for Fire Dragoon.
Yeah, I mean, they are somehow still up in net worth, but yeah, it's probably a lot of that was probably the courier kill.
Yeah, they get the courier kill. Mirana has started to have a better time, and OD is doing okay, but it definitely is sort of a tenuous lead. And also, they're stacking so much right now for RRQ, these Ancients.
Yeah,
so that's a huge gold pot.
And there's like this dire ward up here is a great control ward at this point in the game. You see the Radiant ward still far back in the jungle. They're just not. They don't have the vision to contest these TA stacks. They're going to get... Oh, my lord. Is that going to stack again? No. Okay.
It's a lot of gold nonetheless. She's going to be really happy with it. We'll see how she ends up itemizing afterwards. Does already have her treads up and online, but they're going to pull the Juggernaut back in. No mana right now for the Blade Fury, but with the Kunkka finding the Torrent.
That's a pretty good Torrent.
And I can't catch the Jug.
Nope.
Well, early laning stage. Obviously, we have talked a lot about RRQ having a good time. What do you think that Fire Dragoons needs to do to sort of pull back some more advantage for this game for themselves?
No, they're not that far behind. I feel like at some point they've been, to my taste, a little bit slow to respond. They've just had 3 heroes up here in this top lane kind of do or die, and they've won the lane, and obviously Mirana's off to a really good start. She's going to hit a blind arrow on the Kunkka.
Oh, nicely done there. And, well, Fire Blast to follow. Perfectly stacked stuns. They don't even need it.
I guess not exactly a blind arrow, but arrow without a specific stun setup. But they're going to try to get a rebuttal kill down here on the bottom lane on the Timbersaw. Nice reaction by Fire Dragoons, though, TPing multiple heroes in. And Juggernaut, he's going to Omni for the kill. He's going to Omni for the kill, but at what cost? Yeah. He's going to get out clean.
Well, that was a little bit of a misplay, definitely, by the Sand King, missing the Burrow Strike, but they do still end up finding the kill on the Timbersaw nonetheless. So a little bit of, awkward moments here and there. The interesting thing about that arrow, they were like the Kunkka and the Ogre was staying right next to each other that whole time. Lift, pull back. Timbersaw is level 3. They can't do anything.
Yeah, it's just, we're at the point where that Timber being behind in levels is just going to be a huge issue. That it's a much bigger deal even than being behind in farm.
And this has led us towards the TA, trying to take down this stack. It's still pretty big and hard to deal with, but we'll be able to slowly whittle it away after picking up also another rune.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
So what do you like as a first item for on this game? Obviously, the big choice is Blink or Deso. Do you think that one sort of offers you more options than the other as far as taking fights and such?
I think you can. I think in this situation you have enough control on your team that you can go straight Deso.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing. Blink is never, like, both items are just really good. I think it really is down to player preference. You have enough control on your team that you can afford to just go pure damage, but all your support heroes are doing pretty well. Sand King is level 7. I mean, it's all kind of gravy right now for your TA. You're taking this big stack.
Yeah, things are going real good, and that also leaves open room for Kunkka in the mid lane to get a little bit of levels himself. He's level 4, so it's not been the worst thing in the world. It's not like this Timbersaw actually is level 4, but it fits the Kunkka being level 4 at 9 minutes, whereas Timbersaw doesn't wear it quite as well. And this rotation in comes just slightly too late as TA has already vacated, and, well, there's the Burrow Strike onto the top lane.
Yeah, they just don't. Shadow Demon's not in position to really follow up in any way. Yeah, this is... All right, I really do have to give Fire Dragoon some credit here. They're making a game of it.
This should pull him back into where the X... Oh, no, they don't actually get it. Excuse me. So... TA, level 10.
Yeah.
She's doing good.
She's doing great. I mean, again, okay, so it is going to be the Deso. She's got the first missile hammer toward it. I really felt that was the choice for her. And again, you just see, like Fire Dragoons are just having to devote a lot of presence to just protecting this Timbersaw somehow down in the bottom lane. And you might look at them use their scan on that tower. They're very worried about... They've got 3 heroes down here. They're very worried about any kind of response by RRQ.
Well, they're actually, like you said, they know that this is happening, so I don't know
think
why
they can do anything about it.
Stick in there. Ben, a little bit of an odd decision and ends up paying the price for it. Everybody's TPs comes far too late.
Yeah, look at, you got all kinds of heroes down here. You've used your Mirana ult, and you're still not really in position to do anything. That's a misplay.
Well, we'll see if they decide to try and take a fight here. It feels very bold indeed. OD is off to the side, doesn't have Sandy's Eclipse as of yet, and now, if they stick around too long, they just might start losing heroes. Maybe they're hoping for an overextension?
No, just get out and go.
Go do
farm. I mean, look
something
at look. The TA doesn't even. The TA is like, oh, all right, I'll just go kill some more ancients because that's cool.
I mean, definitely a rough set of affairs. And it's worth noting, too, I mentioned this in one of the earlier broadcasts, but for anybody that's just joining us, again, Fire Dragoons, they just completed their open qualifier runs 8 hours before they had to play their first game. So really not in the best mindset, at least through this first round, and they have been struggling so far, and I think they're 0-2.
Yeah, but again, I mean, they've played some tough games. It's hard to come in as the underdog. I really do think that with a little bit better drafts, this team has some talent.
Yeah.
I thought that in that last game in particular, I just thought that was going to be over, and they made a game of it, and then PA killed Storm and bought a Deso.
Oh, this really hurts.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of those take longer, guys.
Ben, Omni Slash, taking some damage. Burrow Strike through, but Tel'Thuzad maybe in a little bit of trouble as well. They're going to try and go for a counterplay here, but DA
is awfully
does
optimistic.
Not find enough range. And, well, there's a nice lift back. They are going to be able to keep him there. Xiang in some trouble as well. Sandy's Eclipse drop. There's the boat. Are going to be able to find that kill. In a heck of a lot of trouble as they turn now, are going to be able to bring down that Mirana, trying to bring down the OD. Can they do it? They might just all end up going down. There is the Astral used X as well, so Zephyr might be able to walk out of there, but TA definitely gone. And now?
What a nice fight. I was a little bit afraid there for Fire Dragoons.
The Ignite?
Okay.
They have Bloodlust as well available if they want to try and do it. Lift. Oh, not quite in range. And
no, he's good. He's good. They got him. They got him. Look at this.
Easy peasy.
Look at this. Oh, come on now. Now you're getting greedy. Okay, good job, boys.
It was kind of a little play by the Rubik as well. He tried to lift the Ogre into the stun on the Sand King, but couldn't quite get him in range. Excuse me, Kunkka. But nicely played nonetheless, and a huge swing around. Look at that one.
Yeah, big swing and space created for the Timbersaw, too.
Absolutely.
He's down that bottom lane. He's got his level 7 now, got his hood online. He's looking suddenly like a hero that might be able to do something.
He still is level 7.
Look, he is in a bad way overall in this game, but it's not quite as bad as it was a minute ago.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at this. Look at how much more confidence he's playing with against that Sand King. 2 minutes ago, that Timber was running from one dire hero.
Oh, arrow on cooldown, unfortunately. They already used it, and we're not able to find a kill, but it looks like Fire Dragoons might be thinking about assaulting this bottom tower, and a little bit of tower gold is definitely one way to pull themselves back into this one. Although Epicenter off cooldown.
Yeah, they need to be awfully careful, though. They've got Deso complete on TA.
Well,
they're going to combo up the Timbersaw, but again, that hood being complete and just like the one extra level, oh, he might be dead here, though.
All right, they throw out the trap as well. There's a catch, and Astral will try and keep their buddy alive. Kel'Thuzad also going to get brought down, so he is suddenly gone. They might be able to take this all of the sudden as there's the chain through onto them as well. Ignite slowing down the TA, and she is going to be able to get Astraled, so controlled for the moment. Epicenter coming out. Can they do it, though? Burrow Strike. Oh, they get the Fire Blast stun. Huge plays coming out from the Ogre. And my goodness gracious, are they going to be able to find a bit more off the back of this as it looks like there's going to be another one.
That was really, really good team positioning there by Fire Dragoons.
They're diving tier 3.
Yeah, why not? Why not, baby? It's SCA Dota. Go! You know what's out in this region. There it is.
Triple kill for the OD. Beautifully played indeed. And
oh my lord! The OD and Timber had great positioning relative to one another in that fight. It was always the Timber was in a straight line ahead of the OD between him and the RRQ heroes. It was very, very nicely executed. As you said, the Ogre with the big Fire Blast stun to disrupt the Sand King combo.
Oh, and now mid lane, they're going to try and come and keep their Kunkka alive. City's Eclipse on his dome. They do get the boat out, though, and Brian in a little bit of trouble. Has the self-astral. Got out of the Omni Slash. I think he's still dead, but it was a sick play nonetheless.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Rubik stole Omni. Okay, maybe this turns back around. Tons of damage coming out. Chakram on top of him. Can they make it happen? Oh, everybody very low. I think that they are going to be able to do it.
He's dead!
No, lift. All right, they got her. That's going to be a kill, and that's a lot of gold going back their way.
Oh, man.
And now,
These
Shadow
guys are
Demon
playing pretty well.
This is going to
Holy crap!
It's actually just insane.
Well, unfortunately, I got excited, but when the dust settles, you just gave up a little too much material as far as Dragoons there. That's not an acceptable trade.
Well, the problem was that they had like the big turnaround with Timber showing up, but they couldn't burst them before the OD came out of the Astral, and that was just going to be a problem.
And that was, I mean, what you saw right there was basically both teams overextending. I thought they overextended into the OD to get that kill, but then you just stayed in the river way too. Anytime, you know, one team has 3 or 4 heroes fighting in the river and the other team's on their own high ground, it's so trouble.
Absolutely. Well, neither team backing down. We're 24 kills in 16 minutes.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, look, you know, you can argue all you want about is it tier 1 teams or whatever, but it's fun Dota to watch. These teams are mixing it up. They're executing some fights pretty well. You are seeing some overextensions, some errors, but that's going to happen. That happens even in tier 1 games right now. This is just it's a very fight-centric meta. You're not going to see necessarily perfect strategic Dota, but you get to see a lot of action.
Absolutely. And it also does feel like maybe it's the team sort of not egging each other into it, but getting caught up in that moment and feeling like this is our moment. We're going to be able to make it happen, and then suddenly a counterplay comes because you forgot about that, you know, epicenter or whatever, and then you counterplay that and it ends up working. But the Astral bottom lane, it looks like they are going to be able to take down that Shadow Demon.
That's fine. I mean, that actually is not. That actually is a perfectly acceptable trade. You have 3 of their heroes and a 4th kind of covering their backs, rotating at the tier 2 tower to kill the Shadow Demon when the tier 1 is still up. That's actually not. It's just not that impactful. And they're not. That's the big concern right now for Fire Dragoons is that you're not getting any penetration in the dire side of the map. You got to start taking towers, and they recognize this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they dove tier 3 and they didn't take tier 1, so. I mean, they're making it happen, but it's kind of like it then leads to an overextension.
Like, yeah, they're playing. I really just like they're playing behind the towers and they're getting kills, but at the end of the day, you're killing supports behind. You're killing supports behind tier 2 towers while the tier 1s are already up. Is that worth?
Right. Well, I mean, it by the same token though, you could say that's how well they're playing right now. Is that. And that's how much they're been able to build up a lead and the confidence.
But you kind of, as a coach right now, you almost want to go in that room and strategical pause and give them a shoulder up, say, look guys, just play under control right now.
Oh, steal disruption.
Take the towers when they're there.
This might be a kill if they can body block him. Is he in range? No, they don't have any other reveal. Oh, that's unfortunate. That would have been nice. Well,
yeah. Again, though, that's you're chasing a Shadow Demon around with 4 heroes. Like it's not.
Oh,
that's not positive EV. Now this would be positive EV. Okay, there you go. Why are you there, Juggernaut? Why? Okay. Ah!
Jesus Christ.
No, why are you there?
Okay, all right, hold on. Hold the phone here. There's little bits and pieces. They're pushing out all the lanes.
But your Shadow Demon just got chased by those same 4 heroes. He got away. You saw the direction that they walked in.
Yeah.
And the Juggernaut is still, I'm going to kill creeps, guys.
Yeah. I mean, the Blade Fury TP play would probably be what you would see more often than not in that instance.
Yes.
And it's part of the reason why you do take the hero. So just a little bit unfortunate there. Got caught, probably, wanted to go for it, but then didn't end up doing it. And as it stands, it does look like Fire Dragoons are going to take the advantage based off of that. What would you like to see now? I mean, we're seeing already Fire Dragoons take about a 1,500 lead, 1,500 gold lead. What's the next move for them in your mind?
I feel like they've just got to keep putting pressure on the dire side of the map, which is obviously, it's a very obvious comment, but I feel like they need to stop diving for kills and just apply sustained pressure to towers.
Okay.
Because at the same time, you look at the fact that that they have a gold lead, but the TA is still the most farmed hero in the game. The Juggernaut is not far behind. And they still have this really devastating control combo in your 3 through 5 positions. I mean, RRQ is still very scary.
No, definitely.
And you just there's a sense in which you look at, because the Timber is still behind, which again is totally natural. The Mirana, okay, this is the big deal, right? The Mirana's got her Ags. That's your green light right now as Fire Dragoons.
Okay.
You gotta be able to take a fight and a tower. That's the big thing. I want to see them take a fight in a position to turn it into a tower afterward behind this Mirana Ag.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to make that happen. Up in the top lane, there's Yang scouting things out. Already has his Aether Lens done, and well, Timbersaw is there as well. He's going to man up against them.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to kill her, Timber. You need to
disruption
chill,
as
dude.
the pushback, and well, the blink forward.
Okay, that was an interesting blink.
Steel's meld, but will get torrented. Still hanging on to it. The Chakram damage forward, and suddenly, with a little bit of help from his friends, might be able to do something. Epicenter turnaround.
Big Daddy.
With the boat. Yang in some trouble. Oh, all right. Well, they don't find the kill yet. Nice Astral keeping his buddy alive, and it looks like Timber will actually be able to live through that. That was really close,
good.
though.
Yeah. That's, by the way, that's the new people that still aren't buying this Hood item in pubs. That was the new spell block on Hood that kept him alive.
All right.
I guess it's not that new anymore, but still.
Well, in the meantime, they're able to take another kill in the jungle. Ogre and Mirana going for a midnight stroll, and they find themselves a Shadow Demon. But there's the spin. Where's the TP? Oh, with TP's coming in against him.
No, you can't do that.
Might be in trouble. Burrow Strike, Chakram. He is channeling his TP in. All right.
So he does get out. He does, but that Rubik was, and the Rubik has Aether, by the way, and he was not far.
Scary stuff.
That's scary.
But then again, 3 heroes rotated down to the bottom lane. Space created.
Yep.
So there's bits and pieces. Like if you get out, great play. if you die, it's a little bit tough.
Oh man. No, don't shoot it. No, don't shoot it. Great shot.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I don't know. I still get the feeling that RRQ is not far off where they want to be in this game. You look at the towers, apart from the tier 1 mid, it's basically even. You do have the dire side advantage as RRQ. You've got Jug. Jug has this Battle Fury completed, so his farm's going to accelerate now. And
definitely.
And the Mirana Ags just hasn't. We haven't necessarily seen that one huge fight from them with that item yet.
Well, and it feels very much like RRQ are trying to avoid that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, actively. And actually, it goes back to a point that you made a few minutes ago about RRQ has done a pretty good job manipulating the lane equilibrium. Yeah. The lanes have usually been pushed onto the Radiant side of the map, and that's part of having that. That's another sort of hidden value of having the TA with the Deso.
Mm-hmm. And dodging away right there from the Ogre who rotated in, left alone the rest of the team at the bottom. We did just have a couple of TPs mid as, well, they throw out the Shadow Demon ultimate. Yang still looking. They have the lift. Top lane, simultaneous fights going on. They're on to Zephyr. Boat comes out as well as the Epicenter. Not going to hit with the damage there, but they will be able to TP out. It looks like Arrow not going to connect.
Oh, my goodness.
So multiple battles, no deaths.
All right. Action on all sides of the map, but no, okay. Of all things, it's the Rubik and the Shadow Demon action. All right. Sure, why not? I really do like this Veil pickup, by the way, by Kunkka. I think that item is so big with the kind of lineup that RRQ have. Mm-hmm. And I think it's nice that the Sand King, who's been hurting a little bit, remember he was Trial Indie against the beginning of the game, he gets to get these mobility items. Force Staff and Blink Dagger doesn't have to worry about picking up that Veil himself.
That's great, yeah. He's already super mobile, and that's really what you need to be able to keep up with all those other heroes.
No, that's where the net worth can be a little bit deceiving, because you look at that Sand King, and he's behind the Timbersaw in net worth, but he's got what he needs. With the Veil on Kunkka and then the Force Staff and Blink Dagger on him, he's got what he needs to be effective. Plenty effective at this point.
I like this play, too. The Jug able to cut the creep wave so it doesn't even break the backdoor protection top, but they are going to lose mid, which is a bit of a concern.
Oh, it's a big concern. It's a big concern.
Now Bloodstone up on Timber as well. The question is, Or is this actually going to translate into a real high ground push?
I've wanted to see Dragoons do this a little bit earlier. You know, RRQ are committing so hard to keep all the lanes pushed. Let's go deep on one lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you're hitting their tier 3. They got to do something now.
Well, and they do respond. Everybody back in and ready to go. There's the self-astral and jumping on top of the Shadow Demon. Almost able to find that kill. He saves the Chakram, and, well, he throws it out now afterwards. Burrow Strike connects onto the OD front lines. That's going to be a jump on Juggernaut Healing Lord. That is going to be a kill. He ends up going down. Deso Burst. That's going to be a gone Rubik. Very nicely played, and, well, it looks like the rest of them are going to try to get out of there. They might be able to bring down Ben. Nah, he's too tanky. Timber not going down. There's the X-Torrent combination onto OD. Force Staff out, and... well, they still are feeling confident with it. Tower down to half HP.
Yeah. And that was TA's 10-second BKB charge, too, getting her into that fight.
Oh, that's an arrow.
Yep. They're not going to be able to do anything with it, but still.
Well.
And now this is, by the way, a very nice opening here for, well, I was going to say maybe you think about Roche's Radiant, but no, the other 2 lanes are not in your favor.
No. It was a good ability there, taking down the Juggernaut at the last second. Even though he does have a good amount of farm on this hero, it's not translated into tankiness.
Well, actually, I mean, this is like the highest value time to kill him, right? Because he's just got that Battle Fury, so you keep him up. It's like killing Anti-Mage right after he completes his Battle Fury. You're just so happy about that because you're losing out on the big value of that item, which is being able to flash farm.
Oh, and Jang might be the one that
This is
gets jumped upon.
Smoke.
All right. Well, instead they catch the Timber Saw mid-Timber Chain and
very nice.
See you later.
Yeah, that was exactly like we were talking about in the draft. It's going to be a tough game for Timber, but I mean, the rest of the Fire Dragoons are not exactly backing off here.
Yeah, Varnish, he's going to have to back out of there now. Torrent going to connect as well. Shadow Demon Ultimate. They haven't used the Epicenter out as of yet. It is up and online. And, well, there's the boat. Dropped. Oh, they're not going to be able to find it right there.
Buyback by Ogre.
They want to get into this one, but a very awkward exchange. They're just going to lose the Shadow Demon, but they did take down the Mirana. So that's a lot of that damage mitigated.
Yeah, that's a big win. And the Ogre had to buy back.
Weird situation. I mean, you also talk about high value time to kill a hero. How about right after Bloodstone? That's pretty good too.
Oh yeah. It just deletes a huge amount of value from that item.
Well, it looks like neither team comfortable taking Roshan since the fight was kind of a wash. And it
was interesting that that Fire Dragoons smoked up. They had a hero die, and they immediately smoked up, and they actually checked the Roche pit right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were worried about that, going about that way. Interesting thing too, and throughout that entire fight, they're really holding on to that epicenter from Sand King.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that they keep it when the fight actually does break out and they need it. It felt like that boat last time was less about the damage and much more about the buff, at least in that particular fight.
Which I always like to see that. In my opinion, even at the highest levels, you sometimes see that done way too infrequently. That's the boat buff's a big deal.
Yeah.
Even with the kind of micro nerf.
Well, Epicenter, we talk about using it. Now it's time.
Bang! Okay, and he does get the suicide off, though.
All right, well, that still is going to be...
it's still a 5-charge Bloodstone.
That's been a hard game for that Timber Saw. We've talked about it time and again, and it doesn't look like it's going to change. But another smoke play.
Yeah, they are not afraid. They lose somebody. I actually kind of like this. They lose somebody, they're like, fine, we're going to smoke with our other 4. We're going to try and get an easy kill. But RRQ is wise to it now. They've seen that move.
Yeah. I mean, they are without Jug, so that's one other thing to consider. And now maybe in a little bit of trouble. They are going to force
staff. No, it doesn't matter. That's Aghanims, boys.
That's damage.
On Mirana, yeah.
They did bring back the Timber Saw to defend against the Jug, but this does mean that they're left alone over here and jump forward from the TA.
Oh, that's a great Astral.
All right, buyback from the Shadow Demon. Wants to get back in the midst of this. The Omni Slash forced up to the low ground, breaking away the Omni Slash, and now Bryant is still going to get the Self-Astral again. I think he's still gonzo, but the boat comes out as well, and, well, still trying to escape. No, he's gone. Mirana dead on the high ground after the leap, looking for more.
That's a very sad Panda.
Yang?
Okay.
TPing? He gets the disruption. They're not going to be able to get out on that Rubik. He will drop as well, and now 3 dead.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know. I hate to say it because they've given us a pretty good game so far, but I think I might feel the bubble popping here. that was a really, really bad fight for Fire Dragoons. And you saw the astral timing there by the OD, by Bryant, was pretty darn good. He dodged the meld strike, and he still just got blown up by the TA and the Juggernaut.
No, it's a problem. And that's the real thing, is that it also feels like not only is it hard for them to win the fights, it's going to continue to become harder for them to win the fights from every subsequent engagement. And like the Fire Dragoons are just not really getting the item acceleration that they need. Just a couple of minutes ago, Juggernaut was around 1,000 gold below the cores of Fire Dragoons. Now he's, what, 3,000 gold up on them? This is really starting to feel like it's going to spin out of control.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're at that. They gave it an even better fight. And this is kind of what you want to see from a team in this situation. Fire Dragoons, you want to see some improvement from game to game, and they're definitely playing a better game here than they played in their last game. But yeah, it just sort of, the game is starting to take on a tone of inevitability.
Well, there's always the chance for a throw from anybody, anywhere. VG can do it, then certainly RRQ can do it as well, as it looks like.
Did throw last time?
There you go. That's right.
Not that I've ever heard of that site. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, we're still looking at a competitive game here, but that whole Timbersaw getting back into the game dream.
It's tough.
Well, again, it was exactly as you said. The deaths right after the Bloodstone was completed were really catastrophic, because it looked like he was going to get himself back online, and he's actually had to go Yules for the extra mana regen because he had such low Bloodstone charges. I thought when he bought that Staff of Wizardry right after he completed the Bloodstone, I thought that he might go YOLO Ags.
Epicenter to the high ground. The Burrow Strike onto 2. Guess what? TA, she's got a crit. Going to try and chase down 1. Nice Burrow Strike to the low ground for Yang. And actually, Timbersaw jumps back in, gets himself another Bloodstone charge. It might all be for Nadi. Is able to dodge away for the moment. But there's the second Burrow Strike, and a lot of damage being dealt. The poke going to connect Yang. He made a good Burrow Strike happen, but it's not going to be enough. Ben dropped down very low, barely surviving away from that one. But still. Doesn't get to the high ground. Good Flare Blast.
No.
Another Astral. They're making these defensive plays work. And you can see those little instances.
They're really not. That's the thing, that their individual ability usages are pretty good, and they're making some pretty good individual plays, but their overall approach to the fight is wrong. You're trading a Mirana for a Shadow Demon at the very beginning of the fight. You just can't do that.
Well, and I think that it harkens back again to the vision advantage that you're gaining by these traps right here.
That's exactly right.
The Sand King spotted out the movement up there. They go for the initiation, realize if we can take her out of the fight at the start, it doesn't matter what happens after that point.
Yeah, I do think that's a really, really good point, because you've seen the impact at several points in the game. We talked earlier about the fact that the Dire had a good ward in position to protect the TA's Ancient stack, so that she was able to accelerate her farm going into the mid game. The Dire vision game has been just a little bit superior, and that's a big deal in games at this level. And TA's going to go ahead and go Orchid. Why not, guys? She's going to get that Bloodthorn, baby. Why not? I actually really like that item on this hero.
Yeah, it's feeling good. There are little bits and pieces about it that are tough. Like, again, Eul Scepter for Timber already completed, but OD doesn't really have a great answer to it. Ogre is just going to die. Anything else that's really good? I guess the Force Staffs, those are going to be pretty relevant. That's probably the best thing that they've got, is the Force Staff to try and help out their cores that get gone upon. So they have, like I said, if they can just mitigate that vision advantage, maybe then you've got a spot for another way back into this.
Well, I like the item pickup mainly because your big thing that you'd want to do is get a 6th item, but you're going to have the Aegis on you most of the time. So I think that gets a lot of value just for slot efficiency.
Oh, absolutely. Well, now they're looking for that first pickoff with it. They spot out the Ogre.
Should be a good
Fire
fight
Blast,
for them, although...
X, Torrent. All right, well, she is going to die nonetheless. And, well, there's dead Mirana.
That's the thing, that this is just good discipline and target recognition, target prioritization by RRQ. They've realized that if we can just burst down the Mirana at the start of the fight, there's just not enough damage over on the side of Fire Dragoons. The Timber is behind in farm. That Bloodstone is really low charge. The OG by himself, he's gone a fairly defensive item build, doesn't have that huge amount of int.
A little bit close. And right. Cancels his TP. Omni Slash. Offensive. Yeah. This is a lot of damage. He's gone.
Your Bloodthorn.
All right. Well, that's rough. I mean, and there's no great way to stop that, I don't think. Like, you could have force staffed away as soon as you went for the Astral, but even that's going to be tough to make it work. And now, sieging high ground TA just eliminates the Rubik. Super gone, and well, the Aegis does expire, but I'm not sure if it's really going to matter. Epicenter goes through, doesn't connect onto a lot, does finally find the Bro Strike onto the Ogre, and the boat coming out also hits that Timber Saw, and he's going to drop 3-shot Timber Saw. Dang. When was the last time you saw that?
Well, that's the power of this Bloodthorn, I'm telling you. That's if you don't have your escape mechanism up, you're just insta-dead.
Yeah. Well, and stunned more so is the big issue there, too. Got caught by the boat. The arrow's going to connect onto the Juggernaut Illusion, and, well, that's 2 lanes of barracks, and I'm feeling like this one might be just about curtains.
This is just RRQ playing Dota 101. You get yourself a control advantage by Sand King, Shadow Demon, Kunkka being your first 3 picks in the draft, and you just itemize your other 2 cores for damage. It's really each team has made some mistakes, but this has been a pretty good game.
Absolutely. And it's cool to see a couple of the younger teams in this qualifier facing off against each other. Maybe less experienced, I should say, rather than younger.
Look, I mean, you watch games in this region, it's pretty obvious. The barrier is not talent. Yeah. The barrier is consistency.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great way to put it, as they do kill off the Kunkka as Shadow Demon wasn't able to get off the disruption. Hit by the arrow, jumping forward. They want to find that kill, and they are going to get it. Timbersaw takes him down, and the OD kills off the Sand King as well. Man, maybe they've overstepped their bounds.
This is a big kill if they get it.
Oh my god, this is going to be so much gold. 4 dead and triple for the OD.
Casual 930 gold on your OD. Not bad.
God, that's so much.
Yeah, but I mean, you're already looking at super groups in 2 lanes against a team that's not necessarily great at pushing them back out. They would be if the Timber were a little bit more farmed.
Yeah. Well, and Marana Ags is there, but you need her for 1 lane. And Timbersaw can do it, but he runs out of mana after a certain point. I guess the Boots of Travel help a lot with this as well, because now he can join up with them in a lane as they push down mid. This is not insignificant. There's buyback on... Well, they don't have buyback on Jug, but he's still alive. TA, if she fights his buybacks,
that's a big... I actually think, given the game situation, it's worth taking a lot of risk here to force the buyback on the TA. Okay, come on.
Kunkka wants to talk about it with this team.
All right, yeah, sure, sec. I'm sure that somebody spilled coffee on their keyboard. That's what just happened, right?
You got to have faith. You got to George Michael it up. All right.
Wow, I mean, you are on point with the references here, man. How old are you, dude? Get up there.
I don't know. I like George Michael. I like Wham.
You didn't just say that.
It's great.
You did not just say that. Oh my God. Okay.
I listen to it when I stream sometimes.
Hey, Mark Wahlberg's cool again, man. So
yeah,
I mean, anything can happen.
I do the dance when I'm streaming. The
oh my Lord. Wow.
Well,
all right, kindred spirits here. I love it.
Maybe we'll do that on the panel later.
We can do it. I'm feeling it.
We're going to go now, though.
I'm sorry, viewers.
Anyway, 37 minutes in, and, well, that's going to be a Tier 3 tower drop-in. Potentially, they need to get a lot here to make it work. And Gelkazad, all right. Oh, disruption. Well played. He is going to pay for it, but they keep the Jug alive.
And the TA's not going to buy back.
All right. You get a Tier 3 tower here. Things are not all so bad. And Epicenter going to connect on the 3. Isn't it enough?
Why?
It's actually not enough damage, but BKB popped. Self-Astral, if they can wait this out somehow, it might be enough. Everybody is still back and alive for FGD right now as Ben. Cops' Ghost Scepter still okay for the moment. They're chasing Omni Slash. Self-Astral again. OD is very low and probably going to die here. Well, maybe not. Turns around onto the Jug. That's a kill. He's on 100 HP. Okay, Arrow gonna connect. No, not gonna connect, but they're still looking. They still want to chase. Maybe they can make something here as they've caught onto the Kunkka. He is going to go down. They drop the Kunkka. Buyback from him immediately.
I'm thinking of a number between
Jug does not have buyback.
323. Oh my God! The TA, if TA is gonna buy back there, she absolutely has to do it at least 10 seconds earlier.
E-Blade is up right now on the Marana as well. I'm not sure if she actually has it as of yet. But yeah, she does. Like, if you're in this situation, you could think about going Tier 4s.
You have, yeah.
Maybe they go up top. There's a chance they go up top. They don't have epicenter.
I actually like your tier 4's idea quite a bit, but they
lift,
had to do it.
Burrow strike, E-Blade, Sand King's gone.
What?
No buyback.
What?
Suddenly, just like that, Ogre's starting to drop low, is going to end up falling, but there's the TA still large and in charge. They have to kill her. She doesn't have a BKB right now. They're going tier 3s, at least for the moment. This is some silliness.
Yes, that description is entirely apt, and you're going to use the TA. I don't know about that.
They wanted to get the arrow off, but this is going to be at least the other tier 3 gone. They buy back now on the Ogre, so I guess that this is just to defend the tier 4s.
Yeah.
Man,
No,
what a turnaround! Look at that, it's even. The goal is dropped back down to nothing. How do you do this, RRQ?
I mean, casual 18K gold swing, no big deal. Open qualifier team, yeah.
we were ready to count this.
We really were. I was like telling my wrap up story here. Oh my god!
I was taking off my headset.
Honestly, I still the timing of that TA's buyback is so weird. They had committed the epicenter at that point. They were already into their team fight combo, and she bought back BKB, came in at the tail end, but it still felt like if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna commit the buyback on your big hero, you got to do it earlier.
My goodness, this is some insanity, and what once looked to be
why
a
not
lead.
a smoke?
TA lifted. She's gonna get down.
The game could be over.
Sheepstick, they're gone.
Oh
She's
my
dead.
god!
TA dead for 90 seconds. No more life there. Shadow Demon's gonna drop as well. They don't have any buybacks. Go hit the tier 4s.
And what are you doing, Marana?
They should realize.
No, do not hit ancient. Oh my god, come on.
They're going. All right, but do we have Boots of Travel? We don't have Boots of Travel on Juggernaut. He might need to think about investing into that. Because they could sell phase. They're taking the safer route. They've learned. Maybe not.
Why bother hitting barracks? Like, go hit the ancient.
This is a good question, actually.
Go hit the ancient, guys.
I mean, all right, so they want to ensure that they'll at least...
You have won the game!
They don't... I don't know if they have completely. Because they could hold them out for a long time, and this lineup doesn't push quick. That's the one downside. They don't push very quickly.
And they're gonna okay. All right. You know what? I am gonna go watch this replay later because I'm probably wrong and they probably did the right thing there. But I feel like if they had gone and hit the tier 4s, they could have ended the game.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I completely agree with you that they should have hit the tier 4s. At least attempted it.
Like, okay, Marana going and hitting that troll camp was tilting me so hard right there. Yeah. She just like walks up and just hits the trolls a couple times. No.
The plus side about this though is I actually don't think that RRQ can win a fight right now. I think that it's past that point almost where you have enough net worth on these heroes. Like, give an E-Blade on Timbersaw.
Nah, it's definitely not past that point. Like, they've got an E-Blade on Timbersaw, and RRQ still has a huge wombo combo. They've got level 16 on Sand King. If she uses that item, if that item gets used not judiciously, they can still be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, mid lane. They found another one.
Juggernaut
is gone. Oh, no. Omni Slash being used against him because Rubik stole it. Everybody's dropping low for RRQ. Can they do it? Well, turnaround Bend is also taking a good bit of damage. Stunned up for the moment. Where are we at? 644 doesn't even begin to give it service, but it looks like with the Burrow Strike, they're going to be able to keep that Ogre contained, trying to turn now onto the Jug, who did buy back the lift from long range. Aether Lens OP.
Holy
Juggernaut
shit.
is gone, and just like that, GG gets called.
The open qualifier team takes a game. Way to go, boys. This was a game that they easily could have given up on. I give them a lot of credit for fighting to the end. Yes, there were a lot of mistakes made by RRQ. You can question some of the individual tactical and strategic decision-making, but at the end of the day, the open qualifier team kept fighting, and they played some good Dota to take it home here.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Was not expecting that result in the least bit, but you love to see it. And, now, I mean, granted, these are probably the two weakest teams in the region. We got to come clean. We got to be honest that they have not looked good up to this. They've been struggling a lot, but you string together a couple wins, suddenly things start turning around a little bit.
So that's the thing with SEA online games. It's like anything can happen, and I like the progression that we're seeing from Fire Dragoon. They look like they're just getting a little better every game, And I just go back to the fact that if you look at the match histories over the last couple of months in SEA, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah. Well, here's a quick question for you, Mr. Stats fella.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a 5-minute 30,000 net worth swing. Is that something? Is that a record?
That is not. No, that is not a record, but it's up there.
It's up there.
It's up there. Yeah, yeah. I have seen bigger, but not by a whole lot.
All right. Well, ladies and gents, thanks so much for tuning in again. Lyrical and Nahaz, you two broadcasters for this one. And any final thoughts before we pass this off to the next game?
SEA Dota, baby. I'm ready.
Dota.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Stick around, everybody. More great action to come soon. See y'all in a bit.